Do you remember me? Yeah, I'm probably the guy that pissed you off with my last Thought Buffet video, which is entitled America's Wake Up Call. Well, prepare for round 2. Yeah, this is just like a boxing fight. There's multiple rounds to this, principally because if you think there's only 3 reasons why America needs to get their head out of their ass, why you, America, need to get your head out of your ass, you have got another thing coming. Now, last time, with the last video, we mentioned 3 things specifically. We mentioned what we do to police the world. We mentioned why we're blaming politicians for things that have been enacted for years and years and years. And we talked a little bit about gay marriage. Yeah, those are 3 things that are pretty hot button. And trust me, here in America there are plenty more. So, there's a couple other reasons. And let's face it, some of these are hot button issues today. Some of them have been hot button issues for a while. Some of them may even cross over to other thought buffets. But either way, they all have the same centralized theme of why America should get their head out of their ass. I'm going to take you guys down a trip, on a trip down memory lane, and it's going to take us back to December 2012. Actually, no, we're going to go even further than that. We're going to take a trip back to, the latter part of the 1990s, first part of the 2000s, and pretty much at least once a year in each subsequent year. That's right, we're going to have the little sit-down talk about gun control. Yeah, we really do. Mainly principally because this is something where you guys in America really need to just quit it with this whole debate. This is not a debate. This is not something that requires debate. Ever since the dawn of this great union, gun control has been a non-issue. It's been something where for now almost 200 years, actually more than 200 years, this has not been an issue. We've had the right to bear arms ever since 1776 in the Bill of Rights. We've had that ability. Now, I understand, Bill of Rights came a little later, blah, 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 blah. If you're going to engage in nothing but technicalities, we might be talking about you later. But at any rate, this is something that for over 200 years has been a non-issue. But now that the guns are somehow finding out and, getting into the arms of our children now have arms, and not these arms, but these arms. Now it's something that's a huge issue. They're now shooting up schools. Now nowhere is safe. The sanctity of education has been broken. No. Now I understand why a lot of people are really upset, because there were small, young, innocent children that were involved in December of 2012. But that's almost like putting their lives above the lives out of those that have been, destroyed before this. Whether it be in the Columbine shootings, whether it be in the Virginia Tech shootings, or any of the other myriad of shootings that have happened in the past 10 to 15 years. Yes, all human life does have its own meaning and is subjected to its own, ability to live. However, all life does come to an end. Guns really aren't the reason why people die. Now, yes, they expel the bullets that end up doing the killing, but the whole thing is triggered by the motive of an individual. Whether it be accidental, or whether it be direct, and be the decision that they decide to make. This isn't something where guns are the issue. And let's face it, if we really want to talk about young people blowing each other's brains out, we should think no more to the urban youth. Once again, this is another one of these ideas where I hate to play the race card, but I kind of got to. I kind of have to. Since this happens to principally people that are of the white persuasion, it becomes a huge issue. But yet for decades upon decades, in urban ghettos all across America, there have been gang wars, gang violence, and different aspects of racial shootings, whether it be black on black, white on black, man on woman, woman on child, whatever it might be, that have been going on. And now this is something that's all of a sudden up in arms? Have you not listened to rap music in the past 20 years, America? I know you have. I know how much of it I sell. Get your head out of your ass. I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but guns truly do not kill people. People, individuals, human beings, kill other people, individuals, human beings, animals, life forms, planets, everything. We are truly unstoppable killing machines. The only thing that we have that really is to our benefit is the concept of free will. But let's talk about the education. America, if you think that we are leading the way, if you think that we are the top of the class, if you think that we are pacing the world, as we were and as we bragged about, you are dead, dead wrong. America's educational system is in a toilet. Not just any toilet, it's in the toilet. This is the toilet that has rust all over the seats. There's a lot of debris and poop and, vomit that's been expunged in there. Perhaps this is something at some seedy bar that you go to. Imagine that toilet. There's graffiti all around. There's maybe a hobo that's, 2 inches away whenever you're sitting down to take your squat. That's where the education system is right now. And I know that sounds graphic, and that probably is going against your whole element and idea of this being PC, and I'm just trying to be vulgar to make a point. Well, you know what? Sometimes, in order to make a point, in order to be direct and in your face, that's exactly what you gotta do. You have to step outside of people's comfort zones. And here's one for you. We're dumb. We are idiotic as a nation. We are plumb stupid. There are a lot of very intelligent people in this nation, do not get me wrong. I am not attempting to completely and totally blanket statement this to the entirety of America. But whenever you look at averages, whenever you consider the people that you just walk down the street and converse with, whenever you look from one end of a mall to another, or one end of a business to another, all shapes and sizes, yes, there are all shapes and sizes in these places, in these caverns of knowledge, wisdom, and commerce. But a lot of them, they're not as smart as you think that they are. They may have some unconventional wisdom. They may have some crafts or some skills, something that they are very dedicated to. And in that area, they may have intellect. But that doesn't mean that they possess common courtesy. It doesn't mean that they possess common sense. It doesn't mean that they would know their way around a math problem, a word problem. They couldn't read an actual novel. Many of the things that are actually required in life, that you think are perhaps just recreation, it's not something that they can do. Imagine if one of these people that don't know their way around an addition problem were actually hired as an architect. Would you really want them building your bridge? Would you really want them building your home? Imagine somebody who can't figure out a word problem. What if you have a business and you have to track orders, either that or make sure that you order the right number of things for whatever it is that you do? Do you want somebody who doesn't have any capability to, think rationally? There's a lot of people out there that can't. And our education system, thanks to No Child Left Behind, has become worse. No Child Left Behind was a great idea in concept and in theory. And we're going to get to the reason why No Child Left Behind is really something that failed and why a lot of things are failing lately in just a minute. But it's something where the education system has actually suffered. Now, yes, there's going to be statistics out there that can be thrown around on how everything has gotten so much better because of it. But in reality, it's because of this. America, get your head out of your ass. You cannot manipulate the system and expect things to magically become true just because you say it is. I take No Child Left Behind as a great example. Thanks to No Child Left Behind's restrictions, now all of a sudden schools, in order to receive funding from the state, now have to start to manipulate numbers. They have to say that children have passed that truly have not. Either that or they have to, focus entire curriculums on the test, a test that's going to determine whether or not this school receives funding, which, of course, for the school, which is a business just like everything else, that's extremely important. But it shouldn't be. The education of our youth should be what's important. It should be important that these individuals, that these children, these young individuals that are at the, first portions of their life are able to exit the school system with a well-rounded education. Now, whether or not they decide to retain everything and really put forth the effort, blah, 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 yeah, that is up to them, but it's been up to them for centuries. Millennia, ever since the idea of a school was enforced. It is really up to the individual to learn, but at the same time, they should have the ability to have that well-rounded curriculum. Am I going to be one of these people that are going to say, stop cutting off after-school activities in favor of sports, blah, blah, blah? No, I'm saying, help the goddamn kids get intelligent. If you look at me and you see somebody who speaks with a little bit of, efficiency, somebody who speaks well. If you consider me to be a good public speaker, thank the St. John the Evangelist Roman Catholic School, thank the Geibel Catholic High School curriculum, and thank the West Virginia Wesleyan College curriculum. Now, yes, there's a little bit of dedication on my part in order to retain the information, not to mention advance my studies, not to mention seep and hone in on the idea of public speaking as a principal idea that I want to retain and really, really want to excel at. However, you still have to thank each and every one of those institutions for not only motivating me enough that I'm going to want to do that with a certain area, field, or aspect of education and of the world that's around us, but also in the fact that they were able to teach me how to make one skill. Public speaking is one skill. They have taught me how to improve upon it and become truly what some people would consider to be pretty good at it. But if all you're talking about and all that you're studying for whenever you're in schools is the test, wow, that's a problem. Because then the next great public speaker may not have that specialized training. So in 20 years, the best public speaker on YouTube doing album reviews might be saying, yeah, we're going to talk about an album. It's pretty good. It's good because the music, it sounds like music. It doesn't sound like shit. Yeah. Signing off. Do you want that? Is that your history? Is that the history that you want to write? Is that the future that you want? That's boring. It's dull. It has absolutely no charisma, no energy behind it. We don't have energy as a nation. We really do not. And this is something that's further proven. And once again, companies that are willing to make these hardcore cuts, things that the ways in which they're able to kind of circumnavigate around the rule book that is being put in place through law. And you know what? Yeah, it is a bit of their right in order to do that. If you can expose a flaw in the system, are you going to do it? Yeah, because it's going to give you a little bit of an edge. But people are suffering because of this. Children may not be able to say anything about it because they really don't know what's going to be the powerful aspect of their life, the thing that they are driven to do, maybe not until much later on. So maybe their voices can't be heard. Maybe they can't go up to mom and dad and say, all we did today was study for the test. All I really wanted to do was to talk about the war in 1812. I really like history, but yet we were focused on this stupid standardized test. We can't cut corners, nation, in order to really satisfy the means of numerics. We cannot cut corners in the system and really sacrifice our future simply to try to comply to ideas set forth here in the present. That is not future building. That is future destroying. That is present destroying, because in reality, it's doing nothing, and I mean nothing, here in the present, but satisfy numbers and secure funding. That's it. End of story. And if that's all that it is about, and if that is all that matters, then there's no point. The education system might as well be on an individualized basis in people's homes. It's why homeschooling, cyber chartering, trade schools, and things like that are getting higher and higher in numbers. And you know what? That might be the revolution that this country needs. Because out of a lot of the people that I've seen that are homeschooled, they are very, very wise. Some of them might be socially awkward to you. But you get them in a discussion about something they're passionate about. They will school you. And hey, you went to school. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, part 3 of this foray. A little wordplay. We as Americans, if we truly are to advance as a nation, we must get this idea of self-entitlement so far away from our minds that it is no longer in our own cosmic space. It's no longer in our universe. It's no longer in any fabric of space around us. We are a country that feels that we are entitled to everything. We are entitled, ladies and gentlemen, to 3 things: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now let's take a look at some things right here. We are entitled to life. Each and every one of us is. We live, we breathe, we sleep, we eat, we drink water, we have homes, we have the ability to get jobs, we have the ability to pay our bills on time, have cars, and have all of the blessings that the human race has really been able to give us through science, technology. We've even gotten the ability to worship gods, whether or not we believe that they are there. And we also have the ability to argue about these gods. I would talk about theology, but I already did that in the thought buffet. I'm leaving that one to bed. I'm letting sleeping dogs lie on that one, principally because that is not something that I want this to become totally center pointed on and lose the entirety of the point that is being made. Liberty. We have a lot of different liberties. We have civil liberties. We have a lot of different things that we can do. But as Americans, and as the individuals that have the freedom to debate and have the ability to have a diction within their own law and perhaps affect the future, affect how things are done, we have the ability to try to negate the liberties of individuals just simply by raising our voice, just simply by trying to remove one of their liberties because it doesn't satisfy your thought process, your belief process, your religion, your moral upbringing, your party. Stop being so concerned about party politics. Just because you are a Republican, you do not have to think like one. Just because you're a Democrat, you don't have to think like one. If we all thought like individuals, we would all be independent, and then a three-party system would become a one-party system, where purely, instead of it being based around party politics, it's based around the fact that we bring forth people that have great ideas and really want to change the country for the better. And then they are put on a platform, and they don't have the platform of red versus blue. They don't have the platform of Democrat versus Republican. Their platform is their name and their message. We feel that we're entitled to have parties, and we are entitled to just blindly follow them. And yeah, that happens a lot. This youth movement, if you're young and you're still listening to this video, you're still watching this video, you hold the key to tomorrow. Quit acting like a sheep. If you believe something just because mommy and daddy told you that that's what you should believe, you're not an individual. You're a sheep. Get that through your head. The pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness is the greatest lie in the American culture right now. You can pursue your happiness all you want. You can pursue anything. You can do anything that you want to set your mind to. But prepare yourself for scrutiny from everybody. Just everybody. You're going to have the support of a couple of people. But there's going to be somebody who's not going to like that because it's too big of a dream. Someone who's not going to like that because it doesn't satisfy what they think. Or somebody that's just not going to like it just because they're able to do that. They have the freedom to not like what you want to do just simply because they're an asshole. The pursuit of happiness is a gigantic lie, principally because happiness is relative to yourself as a person. Pursuing happiness just basically means you have the right to pursue your dreams. You have the right to build the life that you want to. This is not something of a communist idea or a socialist idea where what you are meant to do with your life is dictated to you. You instead have the ability to dictate your life. Now, because of that, this is one of the self-entitlement issues that are really, really big right now. People believe that since they live in America, that they are entitled to everything. And the pursuit of happiness means that they believe that they are entitled to happiness. Not the fact that they can pursue happiness, but that they're actually entitled to it. That this is something that should happen, bam, just like that. There should be no work involved. There should be no hurdles for them to jump over. This is something that they wake up one day and they're a famous singer and they sell 50 million records the next day. They wake up the next day and they're in the space program and they're about to go to Mars. They wake up the next day and they are the next Brad Pitt. That is exactly what people think. They don't want to slave to the grind. And for those who actually do enjoy slaving to the grind and who are really respectful of your jobs and really feel very fortunate to have your jobs, this is not intended to you whatsoever. Mainly because you already get it. This video is not intended for everybody, just as the last one. America's wake-up call is one that is a message that is preached to the whole, principally to weed out and really target the few. Get your head out of your ass, America. It's 2 videos now that I've said that. But it's 2 videos that are both extremely true. Our heads are firmly inserted in the rectum of our own culture. It is now time for us to take our own hands, place them around our own necks, and pull. Remove our heads from our own backsides. Take a look around at the world that surrounds the other countries, the other continents, the other individuals, and just be better people. That's what this is all about. We need to get out of our head out of our own asses and start to become better human beings. It's not the message you want to hear, America, because right now, you enjoy complaining a good bit. And you enjoy feeling that you should get everything that you want just because you're you. Well, here's a wake-up call personally for you. You're not any more special than anybody else, regardless to what you believe, what your name is, how much money you have, what religion you are, or what you do for a living. If there's one aspect about all of us that is equal, it is in the fact that we are all human beings. We all inhale oxygen and release carbon dioxide. We all pee, we all poop. We occasionally vomit and fart. Sometimes we burp. Sometimes our ears get earwax. Every so often, some of us might have to masturbate to pass the time. Some of us like porn, others don't. And really, there's no argument about that. You're no more special than the person that you're sitting next to watching this video, or the person that's in the unit over if you live in an apartment system. You're no more special than your next door neighbor, and they're no more special than you are. Bare bones roots, we are all equal. Bare bones roots, the only reason why there seems to be inequality is because we have invented inequality, America. Get your head out of your own ass. Become a better person. What more needs to be said? I hope I don't have to have this talk with you again. But I have a feeling I will. And I accept that. Because I'm no more special than you are. And you are no more special than I. And that's pretty great. Good night, America.